So guys, how should you fly an attack helicopter? Let's get into a match where everything kind of went according to plan, because I noticed that there is a lot of videos on the internet showing how you fly, what are the buttons and everything with attack helicopters in War Thunder. But there isn't a lot of videos talking about strategies, ground rules, and everything for you when you are using an attack helicopter. Remember, the attack helicopter is an all or nothing kind of vehicle, okay? You either will get killed or you get a lot of kills. It's kind of how it is. I mean, not that you can, not get a few kills and then get killed, but the thing is, it's very easy to get killed on these things nowadays with the modern AAs that we have. At the same time, it's very, if you know what you're doing, you can wipe out entire teams without them even knowing. So let's get to the match, and I will show some strategies and some ground rules that you should probably follow, okay? So here we are. I was flying the Apache, which is a very standard vehicle, but these tactics will be used in any type of scenario, okay? And the first thing, guys, is that this vehicle is a vehicle that is basically bounded to the terrain, okay? There are some maps that are going to be easy, and there are some maps that are going to be harder, but in a general sense, every single attack helicopter, you should be flying low and always using the terrain to mask your operation, okay? Remember, guys, in real life, a lot of these helicopters will be used in missions that are at night, and we don't have too many night missions anymore in War Thunder, right? So because of that, you have to use even more caution when flying, because you need to get to a perfect position where you have basically three things. One of them is masking your general position. So you're going to fly low for that, and you're going to try to find a mountain or something. For example, in this map, we don't have too many of that. You have trees and everything with that. So you have to be careful. But still, you're going to have that. The second thing, it's escape zone, okay? So you're going to have to find a spot where you're going to be stationed to fire your ATGMs. Of course, I'm talking more about ATGM helicopters. Of course, the earlier ones, you gotta have a different playstyle. I might do a video about those as well. But this is like the normal helicopter, the most of the helicopters that have ATGMs, right? But in a general sense, you have to have escape zone. So here, for example, I kind of have a little bit of terrain masking, a little bit with the trees and everything. At the same time, I have kind of escape zone that if I fly very low to the ground and go to the right, I can escape to the river and nobody will find me, okay? And the third thing, guys, is that you always need to find a spot that it is perfect for you to actually just be able to hide and then pop up. Hide and pop up. These are the strategies for finding a place. And this is where you're going to actually be able to start to get kills, because the positioning is key over here. A plus on this is that you need to find a position that it's not too far, and not too close. For example, here with the Hellfires, I think 4 kilometers to 5 kilometers, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, it's the perfect position. Why is that? Well, the missile goes at 8 kilometers, but there is one thing to have in mind, that this vehicle, guys, these missiles, they take a long time to actually be able to get there to the target. So the missiles take like 20-30 seconds, and if you have to wait 30 seconds for a missile to get to the target, you're not gonna get kills, okay? So even though, yes, these missiles, they can hit up to 8 kilometers, you need to be closer so that you can actually properly get kills, okay? So you need to fly closer, which is dangerous, but if you chose a perfect position, you're gonna be able to do so, okay? And here you have it, right? I found a position that it's somewhat there. It's not perfect, but this map is very open, so I cannot like find a perfect place. And then, guys, what you're gonna do is the pop-up, like I was saying, so you're gonna basically pop up, fire your missiles, and your most important ally in this situation is the RWR. It is the radar. It is everything that you have on sensors, okay? So, for example, here, guys, I'm firing on tanks, but I noticed a missile launch on the malls or on the RWR, it doesn't matter. If I notice anything like that, I pop down, okay? I don't know if there's a missile coming towards me. Maybe there isn't, but the mouse is telling me that there's something there. So what I do is fly low, okay? So this is the pop-up tactic, okay? You're gonna pop up, fire on targets. It doesn't matter if you miss the missile is already getting there. It doesn't matter, guys. If you don't follow this very strict rule, you're gonna get killed. I promise you that you're gonna get killed. So again, I'm using terrain over here. I'm trying to fire the hellfires on that target, but I just noticed that he was way too far away. But in a general perspective, again, look at this. So we pop up, we try to find targets. In this case, we don't have a longbow radar, so we're just using the thermal system. I find a target, I fire the missile, I try to position my rotation over here to the position that I want to fire. I keep a lock sometimes I don't, depending on how many targets are there. And see how the missile is just very fast to get there. And even then, sometimes you're gonna miss, sometimes you're gonna hit, okay? So yeah, I fire another one. Yeah, 15 seconds is already plenty. He dropped smoke. I just missed the target. I'm still in a pop-up situation, so I'm still trying to find targets. I'm still there, trying to get the kill, but I'm flying very low to the ground. Just a small pop-up above the tree lines, and I will maintain this position until some sensor tells me that I need to hide, okay? See, again, missile. I don't care. I just fired a missile, guys. So I kind of went in a defensive, but I noticed that there wasn't a missile coming. It was just something else that was making me do this. I fired a second missile. And then I'm just going to keep above the tree lines very easily. And I'm going to try to kill this target, maintain the laser there. And I will just wait for the target to get hit. Sometimes they will get killed, as you see over here, and you will miss one or two missiles. And what is your biggest friend over here, guys? RWR sensors, right? In a general sense, sensors, but the RWR, right? So I just noticed that there is a target in the air. There is an aircraft there that basically got a ping on my RWR, okay? So what it means is that there's something there. I need to keep an eye out. He didn't fire, but also, maybe I need to hide myself. And that's kind of the dance that you're gonna do. Especially when you have an AA system that it's gonna be near you, okay? Or detecting you. So again, I pop up a little bit more, which is not ideal here, just to try to get this kill. And, I'm just maintaining a very, very keen eye on on where the target is, on where there's something for me to kill. And also, at the same time, if there is any AAs, if there is any aircraft, somebody that is gonna ping on me, okay? And I just keep changing the target, I keep firing, and this is how you're gonna be able to get a lot of kills, okay? Pop up, pop down, target killed, go to another one, etc., okay? Here, there is an AA system there, so I need to be really careful. So what I start to do here is fly a little bit lower. He didn't detect me fast enough, right? But I start to go into kind of a defensive until my missile hits. If it doesn't hit, you gotta be really, really, really careful. So now I just, used all of my missiles. So I will RTB, of course, flying always low to the ground. Always, guys, don't fly high with any helicopter. Even if you're gonna do a strafe run or anything with that, don't fly high. You're gonna get killed. Don't fly high. Helicopters need to fly low, okay? That's the main ability that they have that an aircraft, a fixed-wing aircraft, will not have. The ability to mask your position with terrain so well, okay? So, yeah, I'm gonna RTB here, get more missiles, and return to the battlefield. So, I got more missiles. I'm, repaired everything. What am I doing? Again, guys, it's always the same strategy. And it works, guys. It works. Fly very low to the ground. I know it sounds simple. It really is not. When you start flying, you will see why. But look at this. I already have a missile launch from an AA system there. I don't know if it's coming for me, but look at this. Even in a very open map over here, I can be very safe just using the terrain. Of course, you have to be really careful to not crash, and it does happen from time to time, depending on the map. But yeah, you need to fly very low, use the tree lines, use the little hills and everything. This is the most important rule that I don't see anybody doing. And the second thing is being way too far or way too close. This is another thing that I see a lot of people just not doing correctly. See, I just found the AA that was pinging my RWR there. So I'm gonna keep an eye out. And what I did here is fire a missile and then waited like 5 to 6 seconds. And this is a tactic that you can do as well. And I fired a second missile. So I know there's 2 missiles coming there. So if I miss the first one, I can just change targets or whatever. And I will just maintain. See, laser warning. I just waited. I'm kind of going to the defensive, you know, kind of diving a little bit to the side over here. And waiting for the missile to hit, right? Again, I'm in the pop-up position. You know, I'm trying to find the target. And I just noticed that he got killed, okay? I noticed that there is a target right there. I'm in a very high position over here, which can be very deadly. And I fired 2 missiles because of that. But look at this. I have an escape position where I can just dive down to the river over here. And another thing is that if I notice that, of course, there's something that can fire on me, or the match is over, I can change my tactics a little bit. So I got another kill, and the match was over. I think I got like 8 kills or something total. 6 of them, I think, or 7 of them, or something like that was with the helicopter. So very easy, and I stayed alive, which is the most important thing, okay? So this is the major thing that you have to do. And here is kind of another map situation where you're not, like, I was using the tactic, but I wasn't fast enough, especially with the AA that we saw there. So, yeah, missiles, pop down, okay? So that's kind of how the tactic with pop up and pop down is, right? You pop up, fire your missiles, and you can basically wait for the hit. If there's anything that fires on you, lasers you, or something like that, you pop down. And if you want to, change your position. You know, if you do this, guys, you're basically... I don't see anybody doing this. Like, 1 each 15 helicopter pilots or more I see doing this. And it's a very simple tactic that I don't see people doing, which is crazy. So, again, I'm using the 3 lines, very close to the ground. I have escape position, and I'm kind of close. So, all of the above are filled with here. And even then, yeah, missile launch, see? Briefly, and then it just misses. So, you know, I'm kind of fine. I see something on the air there, and it got me, okay? So this is what happens when you don't pop down when you need to, okay? So you're gonna get killed. And I think, personally, the main thing about helicopters is staying alive, guys. With tanks, you maybe don't care too much. You know, you kill 1, kill 2, maybe you die, you get into a dangerous position and everything, and it's okay. But helicopters specifically, guys, you need to stay alive, because normally, like an Apache or something like that, you have a lot of missiles. So if you're not alive, you can get 2, 3 kills, but if you gotta remain thinking that you have a lot of ammunition, guys. It doesn't matter that you lose a missile. If you need to, in the mid course of the missile going there, you need to pop down. Of course, guys, if you are using an Apache Guardian or something that fires an fire forget missile, this becomes even easier, right? Because you can just fire and forget, literally. But in a general perspective, most missiles are laser guided or, you know, like a TOW that it's SACLO or something like SACLOs or something like that, right? So you need to keep the line of sight, right? But if you lose the missile, it doesn't matter. The important part is that you stay alive, okay? Always. Have these priorities, have these tactics in mind, and you will get a lot of kills. I promise you that. It's not very hard, but it's not easy to get used to helicopters. I'm still getting used to it, even after all these years, you know? So, yeah, it's very good. I like helicopters now. You know, honestly, it is a very good and fun dance that you do with the AA systems. It's not easy, against especially like bugs and stuff like that, but it can be done. And if you follow all the rules that I told you guys about, I promise you, on the very least, you're gonna improve your gameplay. You gotta think that always, guys, you need to keep your brain on like a next level kind of situation with helicopters, right? You gotta be aware of you gotta think about everything that you're doing. If you do one mistake, fly a little bit higher, a little bit lower, in the wrong position, at the wrong time, do that. So every single move that you do needs to be well thought about, which is probably the most difficult thing to do because normally you're just playing. So yeah, but helicopters need that to work. Okay, so this is kind of how I fly attack helicopters. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys. See ya.